until things get back, and then awaiting your presence in Chicago because you know Chicago loves you, Mr.
Oh,
Gill.
that's one of my favorite places and stomping grounds. It's Chi-Town.
I heard
Yeah,
that. I
yeah,
heard
yeah,
that. Yeah. So I'm
yeah.
going to introduce you right quick and everything. Thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. We're definitely humbled by your presence.
Oh, you're so welcome, and it's my pleasure. It's
So,
my pleasure. Plus, I'm out of work. I ain't doing nothing. I'm a bum.
oh no, no, never that, never that, never that. Um, Scjr Educational Initiative presents joining Thornwood High School's iconic music and performing arts program today is a living legend, the R&B GOAT and co-anchor of the greatest music group of all time, New Edition, not Jackson 5, New Edition. Let's give a big, warm South Side of Chicago welcome to our honorary teacher for the day. And here's the plaque and the hardware to show Mr. Johnny Gill.
Wow. Awesome. That's
Teacher
awesome.
for the day.
Wow. Yeah. Teacher for the day. All right, kids, you can all go home.
Oh, man.
It's lunchtime. Wait a minute. You know what I keep saying? I look now and see, because when we were going to school back in the day, we didn't get as many days off, or we didn't have these, we didn't have this technology and all this stuff. So every time my son, because he's 14, goes, "Oh yeah, Dad, we're off. We're out every Wednesday," or "Dad, we're off." And I keep sitting there going, "Well, how come they been doing that when I was going to school? What did I miss?"
Oh my goodness! Oh, that is hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
How have you and the family been holding up in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic world that we've been living in since March?
Goodness, it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment, but an adjustment that it's when you think about it, it's allowed everybody to have a minute to sit and reflect. And I've often say, last January, coming up on a year when Kobe passed away, you begin to understand that life does not discriminate. And this is a prime example of recognizing that life don't discriminate. And being able to be everyone being put in the same position to have to deal with the same circumstances when it comes down to this whole COVID situation has allowed us to at least sit and have to, even if you don't want to reflect, you have to, at some point going to have to, because that's about the best that we can do, you know. But we're doing good, hanging in there and taking it as it come, taking it as it come. What disturbs me more than anything is just listening to everyone with their own take on what they think this is what's happening, and all of the different, everybody's got some kind of theory about it all. And I get it. And it's okay. But what I do know is a fact. We know COVID kills. It's a fact. We also know that the bottom line is no matter what you think or believe or feel about our government or whomever, that the reality is still, if we stay safe and do what we can to stay safe, we'll have a chance to sit down and talk about it later, about remember when.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
And
yeah,
then you got to take into consideration something of this magnitude comes around every 100 years.
yeah,
Going back to the Spanish flu of 1918. So
yep.
hopefully we won't experience this
In another
again.
lifetime.
Yes, absolutely.
Actually, I'm hoping I live long enough that maybe I might have a shot.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh, without a doubt,
About another 100 years.
Right, right. I know, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
First of all, before I throw it to the Q&A portion and students and staff, I definitely want to take time out to say what's up to Principal Holmes, or her working principal Don Holmes, and assistant principal Maria Brown. They'll be joining us a little bit later, but huge fans of New Edition and huge fans of yours before your presence on for New Edition. So
Awesome. Wow, it's awesome. And thank you guys for having me. It's really a pleasure. I'm honored, really honored.
yeah. So yeah, before I throw it to the Q&A, what is your favorite memory of Chicago?
Oh God, in the early 90s, I did a ladies only concert and it was at the Regal. And I'd never seen, that was my first time doing a ladies only concert. And I remember before I left the hotel heading over, I'm looking at the news and just watching how much support and how excited everyone was for an event like that was insane. And they were just reporting like how some of the scalpers were selling these tickets and what those tickets was going for, and it was just lines wrapped around the building. And I was like, I remember looking at it on the news, and I was getting ready to head to the building, and just sitting there going, only Chi-Town, only Chi-Town
And
could have
the
a
street is so narrow because I believe you're talking about 75th in Stony Island or 78th in Stony Island, and the
uh-huh.
streets are so narrow, but the Regal here in Chicago is like a city landmark, a
Yeah, correct.
legendary landmark. That's where all the all-time greats passed through before they got
Yeah,
started, like Stevie Wonder,
yeah,
Little
yeah.
Richard, all of those legendary folks.
So it was really special. And even if you go to YouTube, you can see the BET special. You'll see that's where it was filmed. And it was a magical night. We had a blast.
Oh my goodness.
And
Oh
that
my.
was why my choice of city to do it in was Chicago. So it was
Yeah. So,
pretty awesome. Yeah, yeah.
man. So we got some questions from some of the students. My special correspondent assistant is Sierra Evans. She is a current HBCU. We know you love the HBCUs from
Yes.
Morgan State University. I believe she has a question for you. Miss
Sure.
Evans, are you ready?
Yes, for starters, hi, Mr. Johnny. Thank you so much for being with us
How are
today.
you? How's it
I'm
going?
good. I'm good.
Awesome.
I'm definitely staying safe, trying to pull through with classes being online and such, but definitely adapting. So definitely appreciate all of what you were saying earlier because I feel you on that 100%. Now, when you were, just to jump right into it, when you
Yeah.
were going into New Edition, what was that like? Who initially came to speak to you? How was that transition coming into it?
Wow, it's so funny. I right before I got on with you guys, I just got off the phone with my brother, Michael Bivens. Michael was the one that actually approached me. We went to a Whispers concert, and it was here in Los Angeles at the Universal at that time, that was called. And Michael, we know because we knew each other just from crossing paths because we all started at the same time, the same year. So when he asked me, he said something to me that was really weird and strange, and it didn't dawn on me until I just reacted. He said to me, he says, "Do you think that you've gotten your just due as a singer, as an artist, as a solo artist?" And I looked at him and I pulled out both sides of my pockets, and lint fell out. And so he says, I said, no. So we were just, and we just standing there talking, laughing and talking. And then he invited me the next day to go, wanted to go to lunch, come to lunch with him and the guys. I didn't think nothing of it. And we went to lunch, and then they invited me, folks, the following day, they was doing this thing called the Ice Capades. So they doing that, and they invited me to come to that. And I'm just like, okay, cool, I'll come, because I was at home hanging out, and
Mhm.
they were, friends. We we crossed paths from doing shows and stuff here and there.
Yeah.
And that's when, after that dinner, is when they talked to me and was like, what would you think? What do you think your thoughts would be about being a part of our group and our movement? I was like, who, me? I was like, I got two left feet. What would I, what would I do?
Right.
Y'all sing and I'll sit. And I said, let me think about it. And I'll never forget, I talked to a couple of friends before, and they said, do you know, because I kept thinking, but I sing these grown folks, this grown type of music, and I'm thinking, well, how would that even work? And a couple of my friends was just telling me, they said, hey, listen, you know, first of all, they're one of the hottest bands, boy bands out, and it's a great platform for you to be able to get on that will allow you and give you even more exposure, because they came out the box smoking hit after hit after hit. So I mean, we had a conversation, and then we went over to the record company, president of the record company over at MCA, and he said when he saw all of us come in, and he goes, "Hey, new edition." His name was Joe Busby, and he said, "Hey, new edition." No, and Johnny, and he said, "Nah." Mike said, "Nah, it's just new edition." Oh. And he looks and he sits and he looks and he goes, "Hold on, wait a minute." And then he goes, "This is a brilliant idea." Yeah. So yeah, it was unique. It was unique, and it was a blessing. Everything happens because it's supposed to happen, and I think nothing is done by accident. It wasn't a coincidence. It was just our destiny. Yeah.
Definitely iconic. You guys made lots of bangers. Now, with how the music was back in your day and during your time, how do you feel about the new music now? Like the difference of it. What is your take on that?
Well, I mean, who you calling old?
Yeah, shoot.
Back in your day. I was messing with you.
Game changing. Yeah, you changing the game literally with game changing now.
Let me reword.
No, I'm just messing with you. No, you know, because music has changed. It's a whole different era, different time. I love music, and the great thing about being open, because I'm a musician on top of it. So being open, being inspired, I love all types of music, the new music, classic music, because that's what inspires me as a musician, not only just as a vocalist. And I always try to listen to see what it is that people are getting out of a song that is popular, and what is the magic in it, or how can you just figure out the magic in it. And that's what keeps me being hungry. That's what keeps me being enjoying what I do, is taking the leap of trying things musically. But the key is never compromising who I am and what I do. I mean, when you listen to the new album that's out now, Game Changer 2, I got a song on there with Carlos Santana and Sheila E. And it's a whole complete different type of lane. But I got other songs on there that feels like a reggae. Yeah, I got other stuff. And what I've done and learned and mastered, I believe, is just enjoying to express yourself creatively, but also not trying to follow or be something or someone that I'm not. So never losing the essence of who I am. I let everything get built around what I do vocally, so that you never listen to go, why is he trying to sing like that? Or why is he trying to sound like, you know? But I'm influenced and inspired by so many different artists and so much different type of music. So finding a way to do that and insert that to allow me to be able to be creative and express myself creatively. There's an art to it as well, but you have to, be careful with how you're doing it. But yeah.
And that's a great mindset, because we have that often where sometimes we're like, we don't know why this artist went to that way when it didn't really sound like them. So that's right. Really interesting that that you grasped upon it and you work it out to make it fit you. So kudos to you on that one. Everybody is doing these versus things lately. We had Alicia Keys versus Keisha Cole, or Gucci, his versus. Who do you think would win in a versus New Edition in their prime time and the Jackson 5 during their prime time?
Wow, that's a good one. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I know, right? Got you thinking.
Gee, that's not. Can we say that's not fair? No, well, because Michael is the reason why we're all here doing what we do.
Okay.
So, and he was a part of that, the history of why they became who they became. So we ride on their shoulders. It would be awfully hard, to say, wow, yeah. I mean, listen, I love what we do. We have 3 groups, 4 groups in one. But it all started because of them. So that will be a tough one, but wow, that's an interesting one.
That I totally understand your answer on that, because when I get questions of who's the GOAT when it comes to basketball, my mind always goes to Michael Jordan. And
Yeah,
they always tend to say, well, look at what LeBron James is doing and look at what Kobe Bryant has done. And in my head, it's like they looked up to Michael Jordan.
Michael
Like that's,
provided the blueprint. You can never
yes,
deny
provided the
it.
boost.
What they're
Exactly.
doing today comes from what Michael has done and what he's created and provided. So once you've discovered it and you've done that, no matter what happens, because I don't care who you are, someone's going to always come and do something that's going to surpass to take it to the next level. But I think
Exactly.
even before Michael, there was Dr. J and all of them. It's just Michael did something and created something with that industry of basketball, with basketball, that had never been done before, and did it for a long time on all scales, and really set the bar and provided a blueprint that allowed the ball players to come and not only just dribble a ball, but to become great businessmen, or to be inspired to be great businessmen. He's done it all. I know Michael. Um, he's we've had a couple of battles on the golf course. Needless to say, took some of my money, but ain't take it all.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
He's
sure.
about that.
It
He's
bothered.
about that cheddar on the
Yeah,
golf course.
yeah. And I don't like you, Mike. I'm just letting you know, just in case you see this. I want my money back.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me for that small amount of time that you did. It was great speaking with you. I loved your personality. It really does match with how well your music is. So just
Thank
thank you for taking your
you.
time.
Wow, thank you. It's a pleasure, truly a pleasure.
And then we have another question in the chat. Before I go to the chat, I want to give a special shout out to Shay and Mr. Miller holding it down in South Shore International. What's up, Shay? See you with the mask on.
She
Oh,
got
or
the
is that
mask
Irma?
on?
No, I think that's Irma too. What's up, Irma? So I'm going to go to Nicolette. Nicolette has a question for you, Miss Stanton.
Actually, the question was for Demetria Jordan King of Beyond the Layers. She actually had a question. She joined the chat.
Okay. Miss J. She there?
Demetria.
Demetria?
Yeah.
Hi,
Go ahead.
You're
Demetria.
muted. Demetria, you have to unmute your line.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
All
go
right,
ahead and ask it.
My, Johnny Gill.
hi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. First of all, I'm Demetria Jordan King. I'm originally from Chicago, and I do workshops with teens about building self-love, self-worth, and self-respect.
Wow.
Coming from you, I just wanted to hear your response. I have a 15-year-old son who is really interested in music and is like rap, 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 rap. What advice from old school could you give my 15-year-old son about music and moving forward?
You know, it's crazy. I have a 14-year-old, and I just told him about 2 months ago, because he loves basketball and of course rap and all that stuff too. What I told him was, I'm going to give you to January to decide what it is that you have a real true passion about. Simply because at 14, I feel like we're lagging a little behind. I said, what do you want to do? Because clearly it's okay to change lanes if at some point if you choose to, but we have to figure out where we want to go, what we want to start doing, whether it's the scalpel in your hand, whether we're going to be dealing with being a fireman, to whatever it is. So I asked him, I said, what do you want to do? And he says, I want to play basketball. I said, you want to play basketball? I said, let me ask you a question. Who is Oscar Robertson? And he goes, I don't know. I said, who's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? I think I've heard of him. I said, well, you don't want to be a basketball player. And he says, why? Why do you say that? I said, because a basketball player is not someone who can just physically play because you can play. I said, being great, being good, doing something that you have a passion about, I shouldn't have to ask you those questions. You should be searching, doing research because you have a desire to do so. And
Absolutely.
I said, so to me, what I want to do, I said, if you want to play baseball, basketball, great, whatever you want to do, no one should have to look over your shoulder to tell you you need to be studying. In order to become great, whatever you're doing, you have to do your research. You have to study. You have to commit to it. And I say this to all of the kids that are talking about being basketball players that want to be rappers. It's like, no, you know who the Sugar Hill Gang is? Do you know what the first rap song that came out? Tell me, if you really want to be a rapper, I'm not talking about just because you like rap music. You have to study and understand the game, understand the business, understand it, so that in order for you to move to the next level and take it to the next level, LeBron James, when you look at Kobe Bryant, they all study Michael. And so they took what Michael provided with them, and then they began to start to build on that. But they had a great interest and commitment to playing ball and wanting to be a student of the game. So I had that conversation with my son, and I said, you know, we can try several different things and let's see what you like, but we have to start to focus in on something so that as we move forward now, we don't want to turn around 14 years now later and you're still trying to figure out what do you want to do with your life. Because basketball ain't going to work for everyone. Rapping ain't going
Right.
to work for everyone.
Right.
And it's okay if you want to try those things, but my job is to make sure that there's some options of doing some things in life to becoming something and having a purpose and serving a purpose in life.
Thank you. Thank you for that. He's so stubborn right now, Johnny. Like he's so focused on basketball. He does, I mean, rapping, that he doesn't see anything else. But what are you, and one more question. Do you have any shows coming up? Or are you performing anytime soon? Or are you just done with your career?
No, I've been 38 years in this one. I think we're far from done, but
All
long
right.
time, long time. And yeah, I am working on something that that's with the guys, with all six of us that we're uh, getting ready to roll out shortly with. And then I got Rouse next single getting ready to come, and then I'm getting ready to reopen because the Game Changers 2 album went down. We shut down after the COVID stuff, but we're getting ready to reopen that as well, a new video and get that stuff up and running, and then trying to do some other things with my brothers here. So it's you know, it don't stop. We're just staying busy, and there's some new stuff on the rise, and you're gonna hear about it very shortly. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, I love you, Johnny. I'm from your era.
Oh, I love you too, and thank you. What era are we from?
Hey, I'm hey, I can't tell him. I can't tell him. But I'm close to 50.
Oh, yeah. We the same age. No, I'm 54 actually.
No way. You don't look a day over 25.
Oh, thank you. I started to paint this, then I said, no. Let me just go raw.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
We got a question from another HBCU student from Howard University. Miss Mariah Webster, are you there?
Yes. Hi, Johnny Gill.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, we're hanging in there. Hanging in
I'm
there.
so excited to be talking with you today.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
just going to jump right into it.
Uh-huh.
What is it like to have Tiffany Haddish as your new leading lady in your latest project, Soul of a Woman?
Wow, that's let me tell you, it's Tiffany. What you guys see is what you really honestly truly get with Tiffany. Always crazy as I don't know. At one point, it didn't even feel like we were actually working because we were just acting so stupid the whole time, all day. But Tiffany, I've been knowing her for many years. And what I've learned over the years, my parents taught me, my mom and my dad and my grandmother, about how we should treat people. Because you never know who you're gonna need.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget when Tiffany first started out and being in this business. I've always treated people and try to treat everybody with such great respect because it's important. And as she began to do work and becomes gratefully successful, I remember her when we made the call to her, and she was like, "Oh, for Johnny, I'll do anything for Johnny," and simply because it was about. She remembered, and we see each other and have hung out and those kind of things. But I've always treated her with a great level of respect, just period, for as a human being. And regardless of where she was, and she wasn't even nowhere close to the success that she's at now in her career. But it's fun. And then to watch how she's never changed. She's got this spunky, fun spirit that has always been from the day I met her, that she still has to this day.
Wow, that is awesome. One more question. How influential has gospel music been to your legendary career?
My dad was a minister, so I'm a PK kid. Don't y'all start frowning. I know what y'all thinking.
Oh no, I grew up in the church, so I get it.
Yeah, I got issues. So what? But my dad was a minister, and there's nothing that when I open my mouth, I don't care what I'm singing. You're going to feel something from my soul, because that's the only way I know how to sing, and it comes from within, and I don't care what it is. It's just a part of how I was brought up and how I was raised, and I've done a few gospel songs, like on the Home Again album with No Audition. We did a song, took me 10 minutes to write, called Thank You. A song called I Know Where I Stand on the Provocative album. And everyone keeps saying, I'll never forget, even my dear sister, I miss her so much, Whitney Houston. She told me, she kept saying, she goes, I'm not going to even talk to you until you get this gospel album ready. And she says, I'll help you. I said, I'm going to do it. I promise you, I'm going to do it. We're going to make it happen. And every time we would hang out, she started acting stupid, and she'd go, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. And I kept telling her, I'm going to get it done. I'm more motivated to get it done now, and I want to dedicate it to her. She was, because she comes from church too. And so, oh my goodness, we would have a blast sometimes just jamming, singing. She was obviously, everyone knows, one of the greatest vocalists of all time.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much, Johnny. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
The next question is, and then for those on the call, if you have a question, please put it in the chat. I'm going to try to get through as many as possible. Thank you so, so much. I'm going to ask you the next question. Luke James, I think, did such a phenomenal job portraying you in the BET New Edition story. Did you provide mentorship to him in preparing for the once-in-a-lifetime role? And was the depiction of the docu-series accurate, in your opinion?
Luke did such an amazing job. I tell you, at the time, unfortunately, my mom was sick, and I spent a lot of time. I was back in Washington, D.C. while he was filming, but I met with Luke on a couple of times, and Luke just did a phenomenal job of just capturing even the essence of me. And when he had a couple of questions, he would call me and we would talk. But he already knew and had studied and knew my character. And it was amazing what he did. My only regret about the New Edition story was I didn't get an opportunity, which it wasn't about me, but I didn't get an opportunity for people to get to understand where I came from, who I am, and what my journey was like before I got there to New Edition to become a part of New Edition. And I realized that at some point you can only, you only got a certain amount of time to be able to tell the story. So that was one of the things that we didn't get an opportunity to do, which we had originally had planned to do, to shoot in Washington, D.C. and talk about my journey and my story and where I came from and how this all came together. But yeah, he was amazing. And the story, even though some of the stuff that was in the story, we had to actually, sort of kind of edit things and to make everything fit. But yes, the stories are absolutely pretty accurate.
Oh, okay. Mr. Washington from the legendary music band at King College Prep has a question. What was it like being with LSG and touring and collaborating with Keith Sweat and the late Gerald Levert?
Wow. Memory, a time, a moment in my life that I shall cherish and will never ever forget. Um, Gerald was my road dog. That was my partner in crime. I tell you, Gerald, Gerald and I used to do like crazy things. Like if I was on a show and there was someone that I didn't particularly care for, I was going, okay, they want to be, you know, they want to have a long night. Uh, I'll go, yo, I'm gonna be here, blah blah blah, and he'd go, I'm coming, I'm on my way. Or when he would go and he would be doing shows, he goes, yeah, blah 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 on the show. Okay, let's shut him down. Then I'd fly out. We used to tag team and would go to different shows and just show up and watch the audience just go completely bananas. He was truly my partner in crime where we just you know, I miss him dearly. I tell you, it took me almost about 4 years, 4 to 5 years before I could even um, listen to his music. And when I would hear our song or our music or his stuff on the radio, I couldn't even. It took me a while to get acclimated with being able to listen just to his music because I that was my partner in crime, and it really just I mean it took something out of me when we lost him. It really did. But I talked to me and Pop Levert. We talk regularly, and Pop and I talk for sometimes it'll be 2 hours, a couple of hours on the phone, just shooting the breeze with just talking trash about stuff and about telling Gerald stories and stuff, which I feel it makes me give me some sense of comfort just even talking to Papa um, sometimes. And sometimes he'll call me and just, you know, and it gives him some sense of comfort just talking. But we miss Gerald dearly. And then Keith, you know, that's my other brother. And I tell you, I check and we talk and check on each other regularly, simply because, you know, once you lose a brother, it makes you really put things in perspective and understand that we can't take things for granted. So, and that's my other brother who I love dearly too.
My two favorite Levert songs were the collaboration with Heavy D, "Coolin'," just "Coolin',"
Oh yeah, just
and
coolin'. Yeah.
Casanova, obviously.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He had so many for me. I mean, mine. Sometimes I put some of his songs in the show to pay tribute to him, but mine is that probably well, Casanova, obviously, but baby, I'm ready.
Oh yeah, oh
That's
yeah,
one of
that's
my all-time favorite joints from them, and that one, and sometimes Pop and I um, do "Baby Hold On." So Pop sometimes
uh,
fly out and comes out with me, and we'll do "Baby Hold On" and stuff. So yeah, he's just sorely missed. Yeah.
Miss Patterson has a question. Miss Patterson, are you ready with your question?
Yes. Hello, hello.
Hi.
I love your song, My. Like me and my family, like we always like it's just, you know. But like, my question was like, how did you like get into the music industry? Like, how do you get in the music industry?
You know, I always talk about destiny. I used to, you know, my dad was a minister and we sang in church every Sunday. You know, it's crazy. I thought as a kid everybody could sing. I didn't think there was anything special uh, uh, as far as me being able to sing. I didn't notice until later, really years later, and being in the business that because we used to do it. I'm so bad, but I'm gonna tell you this little story. That's horrible. But as a kid singing in church, my brothers and I, and a buddy of ours that we grew up with, we used to go to church. We used to sing every Sunday in different churches in the metropolitan area. And one of the things we used to do is sit outside before it was time to go in and perform and go, watch this. How many people I'm gonna make shout tonight? Watch this. We're gonna make. I didn't realize that the power that I had, that was something that was different and unique. I had no idea. I knew when I would go to church and when it was time to sing, I knew when, what song, and what I was going to do to watch the church, you know, the, get in the spirit, fall out, start shouting. And, you know, I thought it was fun. And I didn't think like, oh, wow, I got something different. I just thought we just would sit around and go, whoa, we just killed them, huh? And then I realized years later that it's like, well, wait, something here is different. And I guess, no, not maybe everybody in church can sing, because I just thought that's just, everybody could do. Before I began to realize that, and then going to elementary school and with a friend of mine's childhood friend of mine, Stacy Lattisaw, we sang in the Glee Club together. So, she knew I could sing, and we used to hang out at her house when we were in elementary. Everybody, elementary and junior high, her house was the stomping grounds. One day it was raining so hard, and everybody would go downstairs, had to go downstairs in the basement, because she used to have all of the stuff for us, from go-kart riding to going bowling to roller skating. It was like her place was like Disneyland. That one day it rained suddenly, and we all had to run downstairs in the basement, and she decided we're gonna have a talent show. And she said, everybody has to do something. Well, I was a kid and I used to go wear suits to school. And I'm thinking, I better do something, because I'm not going outside and get my suit wet. So what do? I sing. And I ended up singing, and her mom comes downstairs going, who was that? And my nickname was Boogie. He was like, that's Boogie. And she goes, what? And I didn't think nothing else of it either. And then I got a call from her one day, and she said, we was talking to the president of the record company about you, and he wanted to hear your voice. Now, I was so green behind all of that stuff. They used to have what we call these tape recorders that a little $29 tape recorder, you push play and record. And I didn't know you're supposed to have like a production and music and all that stuff. I was like, hey, he wants to hear me sing. I just sang on a regular tape and sent it to him. I had no idea.
Oh my goodness.
God bless him. His name was Henry Allen. He knew and heard something that was different. Even the young lady who's still living, her name is Pat, and she was the one that said when she received the tape, she was listening to the tape because there was no music or none of that stuff. And they're in the music industry. She's like, well, what are you gonna do with that? Only he heard something that nobody else could hear. And I started singing for him on the phone live, and he started putting everybody on the phone, going, listen to this, sing it again. And that's how everything kind of took shape. And then he said, we're gonna bring you up to New York. Have you ever been on the airplane before? I said, no, sir. So it was all new to me, and it was green. But they made arrangements to bring me up to New York, and I met with everybody, and they was like, oh yeah, this kid is gonna be around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you think? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying thank you for answering my question.
Oh, you're welcome.
Do you think music will ever get back to the iconic era of back when it was New Edition, Tony, Guy, Troop, High Five, Silk, Jodeci, was battling it out to be number one on the Billboard charts, and then down to the solo artists. One week it could be you, yourself, or Bobby Brown, or Ralph Tresvant, or Keith Sweat, or the late Gerald Levert, being placed number one on the R&B charts. Will we ever get back to that iconic era?
It's hard to say that we will or we won't. What I can say is the reason why that era is so special is because that was a time, place, and a space that I don't think we'll ever be able to recapture again. That's what makes it so unique. That's what makes us even should embrace it and appreciate it even more, because I'm not sure if that'll ever happen again. Life has changed, technology has changed, the music industry has changed, radio has changed. There's certain things that they want to allow you to do and certain things that they do. I mean, I've often said many times, I'm like, I've made so many, starting since 2010. I was off for 16 years. And then in 2010, I came back with my first album called Still Winning, which was a single called In the Mood, which was off the first single off of the album. And that single ran for about a year. We had to call radio and ask them if they'll pull back and let us get ready for another single. The thing is that it's just that it was, when you have been around for a long time, you're not celebrated, you're penalized. When they call you old school, even though we accept it, but to radio and to a generation that's younger, when they call you OG, old school, it really, really impacts the fact that, you know, if you listen to my albums today, from the Game Changer 1, Game Changer 2, um, not patting myself on the back, but we can go toe to toe with anybody that's out there. Um, um, but what they do is they'll look at you and they go, okay, it's from who? Oh, okay, well, he belongs over here on the AC charts. Not based on the talent, not based on the song. It's just going, oh, this is the audience that listen to this music, and they're this age, so they listen to our radio station. And we have killed. Radio has killed the music industry. Radio has killed the music industry because music has been so diluted, and they've separated and segregated the music so much and dissected, and that it's just in a place now where, you know, it's about how old you are. It's not about the music itself. Remember, the hit records were hits because they resonated with people, with all kinds of people, and that's why even a hit today, a classic, even a young kid that wasn't down around in that era, they hear those songs. You know, I've seen kids now that are still in awe of Michael Jackson, wasn't even here and not been here to see what Michael did and how he was live. But when you have great quality work and music and people love it and it's a hit for a reason. There's a magic in it. It's magical. It has something that resonates with people. And radio has now put and took all that stuff away. And it's all about how old are you? No, this belongs here. Our market is this. Our, you know, this is the age group from here. This, blah blah blah, and it's all this other stuff. So it's just gotten so just diluted and segregated that it just doesn't allow people to just everybody to hear the same thing. So you're battling and fighting for your lane and for what you do and what station or a format they're gonna put your music on. And it's sad, but that's what has killed the music industry. You remember there was a time we used to wait and couldn't wait to get a Stevie Wonder record, or you couldn't wait to get a Prince record or someone. Those days are over. People got so many choices. Back in the day, having a record deal was so huge that to get a record deal. You don't need a record deal anymore these days. Anybody can make music and put it on YouTube, put it on social media, and that's a great thing because it allows a lot of people to be able to display their talent, which is okay. I just think that I don't know how you're going to ever get back to that place where that era that we was once in, that I feel that is not being, maybe I'm a little biased, but I feel was the best era. But it makes me embrace it and appreciate it more.
Nicolette has a question for you. Nicolette.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for joining us today. I'm really enjoying this. Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And I love you. Of course, I am a New Edition fan.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So my question is, what would you say is your mission in life?
Wow, my mission in life.
That's pretty deep.
But ultimately, my mission is to be conscious, aware uh, of what I do, and knowing that what I'm doing will have an impact on either way, whether it's about making someone better and great, or leading them down another road, another path that I believe, and I truly believe that I know I have a responsibility of doing. That's why when I was talking about with my son, asking him about his future. And that's why when I'm talking about putting music out, I'm conscious of what I'm putting out there. I think it's important because, you know, the difference as an artist, that it's different from any other art besides actors and stuff as well. The music is going to be around even when we're long gone. What you do, what you say, conscious and aware of what we're doing, what we're singing about, what we're Marvin Gaye wrote that song when they did the song "What's Going On." Barry Gordy didn't like it. They didn't think they was singing, we'll put it out, but this is garbage. This is not the type of songs that we know Marvin. But Marvin insisted on that song, and it is a song that out of all of his great records that he's had, that is one of the most powerful message that I think out of all the songs that he's ever written and sang, that still holds truth and stands and impacts us, and still we're dealing with what he was talking about in that song still today. So it is important, even for myself, my mission is just to continue to bring great music, fun music as well, but be careful and cognizant about what I'm doing and saying that will help somebody um, in life moving forward, because we have that responsibility, whether you want it or not. We do.
You're right. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Ms. Campbell, are you on the call? Do you want to ask your question? Can you share with us some of the behind the scenes, like philanthropic stuff you have done outside of the music, outside of your music career, that people may not know, may not be aware of?
Oh my goodness, my hands get thrown into so many different things. And what I realized, more importantly for me, I know a lot of people always talk about, no, people should know because you have a platform that allows other people to be encouraged to do it. But I don't, I sit on the fence with it, because my thought is God don't give us blessings to keep them for ourselves, but he blesses us to bless others. So I'm never looking to go, I need a pat on the back and I need the world to know and see what I'm doing. I work with kids with autism. I've done stuff for breast cancer. I've been involved with so many different causes, and it just doesn't matter. I don't have no one particular cause that I get involved in when called upon. I'm just a messenger. I'm just a servant, and I try to be a part of giving back. I try to be a part of making some form of an impact on a lot of areas of things that we need in life. And there's a lot that's going on. And I don't care whether it's, like I said, whether it's breast cancer, whether it's kids with autism, whether it's whatever the needs are. It's just, if I'm available here, I try to be obedient and do what's needed of me. And I don't look for anything in return. And I feel very uncomfortable when I am put on Front Street about something that you do and that I've done or I'm doing that I should be doing. Because it's not for the credit. It's just because of being obedient and doing what it is that we all supposed to do when you have the resources and the means to do so, to help others. Because like I said, he don't bless us to keep the blessings for ourselves, but he blesses us to bless others.
Absolutely. Before I get to Rain, I'm going to kind of touch upon Marcus's question. When you first started with New Edition, I believe on the Any Heartbreak album, I believe the first single was Boys to Men. And I heard you on an interview maybe a few years ago that at the very beginning, it kind of took you a while to be sold on the lyrics of Boys to Men. Can you explain that? Because Boys to Men turned out to be a #1 single for double-digit weeks, won a Grammy. So at the end of the day, all is well. But at first, when you first received the lyrics to Boys to Men, what were your initial thoughts? Before I get to,
let me tell you, we went when we first came to Minneapolis. If you watch the New Edition story, they left with 4 guys, came back with 5, and Ralph didn't know there was a New Edition new member. Everybody else did, but Ralph. And so when we got there, I didn't know what was going on. We got there, we sat down in the conference room with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and they going, well, what's going on here? You guys left on a break with 4 guys and coming back with 5. So Ralph did not approve of them bringing in brought me in really to replace Ralph. And Ralph, we had this, it was this huge big blow up at the studio when we got there. And I'm sitting there watching this while we sitting in the conference room, and I went, uh-oh. I'm like, what did I just walk into here? And I didn't know the internal issues that the guys was having amongst each other. I remember Jimmy and Terry talking to me, and they said to me, if you're going to be being a part of this group, you more than likely not going to be singing or doing any leads on the album or doing the, I said, okay. I did a lot of the songs where they would have me to come in, I'll sing them, and then sort of like a demo sing almost. And then the guys would come in and kind of follow behind what I did. So there was a song called Boys to Men. They sent me when they gave me the track, and I was listening to it, and I'm going, all these great songs they done wrote, they've written, and y'all gonna give me this piece of garbage? And I'm just being politically correct. That's not really what I said, but I said, we're gonna give me this garbage. And I said, oh, so y'all just messing with me, huh? So you said, oh, just give them a little, throw them a bone. And I'm just going, okay, out of all these songs, y'all gonna give me this one. I said, okay, that's what y'all wanna do? Okay, all right. And I said to myself, as well as they saw it and felt it too, I said, I'm gonna destroy this freaking song. But that's not what I really said, but that's what my attitude was. I was like, whatever you throw at me, you think you're gonna throw me something weak, and yeah, I was like, okay. I remember I started singing in the first verse. And the next thing you know, I don't know if you guys ever seen the cartoons where like Scooby-Doo, and then where they're one person down low, the next one is looking over the next person looking over the next person. So they all looking over in the studio over the glass looking at me, and they all looking going, only a couple of takes, 2, 3, 4, 5 takes. I was like, yeah, this is just in case you want to throw another piece of garbage at me. Try me. So I didn't know. But lo and behold, we look back, you realize the message in that song was about coming from boys to men. And lo and behold, there was a lesson to be learned to understand that every time you open your mouth, no matter whether you like the song or don't like it, always give it your best. Like you never know what's going to happen and where the ships might fall, but it's important that you come in with that attitude. And that's what I've always done when it comes down to getting behind the mic. Like the song or don't, feel it or don't. I'm always going, let me give it my best. And that was one of those songs that ended up being a very popular song for us, and it's a very successful song. And that was a lesson learned to understand that that's how you have to approach every song that that I sing. Give it your best.
Mm-hmm. Amen, man.
Yeah.
Rain Suver, are you ready to ask your question?
Yes. Hello.
How are
My
you?
mom like your music a lot, so I wanted to just say hey for because she could have joined because she was at work.
Oh, please give her my best.
I will. My question was, when you started your career, during your career, like when your music was very popular, like selling out shows and fights, everything. What was like your favorite part of that and your least favorite? Because I know like it could be very chaotic and very stressful with all the crazy fans and all the moving and traveling.
So you were saying what would be
your favorite part of like being young and just traveling, making music all the time, be on the road, and your least favorite?
Oh, the traveling. And the fun part was just not at one point, just not worried about what I never thought about failure. Like I never thought, oh, I wonder, is this song gonna work? Or is this song gonna be a hit? It was never even a thought process. What I learned is being in the business for so long and starting out so young, it was like we were just in the moment. We was just in the moment and didn't realize what we was doing, that we was making history, that how it was going to impact, how long you're going to be in this game. With, some people come and go. the longevity that we had. But what I learned even over as I've gotten older, I started getting to a point where I, if it wasn't for pictures and videos, sometimes I would see stuff and performances and you go, oh shucks, I forgot about that. Wow, I remember that. Oh man, that took me back. I remember doing this time we was doing this. And I realized everything was going so fast and was so successful that almost when you look back, some of this stuff is like a blur. So I've realized that uh, now when I've achieved, success with stuff like even the new album, uh, uh, began to realize that, take time out to be in the moment, enjoy it, embrace it, and then move to the next phase. Because sometimes we get so caught up and driven to what we need to get done or what we're trying to get done that we almost miss the things and the part of the journey because we're just so focused on our ultimate goal. And what I've learned is that you have to be in the moment, stay in the now, appreciate what's happening, and make sure that you embrace it so that when you look back and you can not just have to go, oh, shucks, I forgot about it. When did I do that? I'm like, I look at stuff and go, oh, when did I do that? And you go, wow, it was just everything was just going. We was just going. So I have a great appreciation now for the work that I've done and the work that I've done in the past. But growing up, it was just fun. And that's what it's supposed to be when you're young. I no cares in the world, not thinking about failure, none of that stuff. We was just rocking, and it was fun traveling, um, and performing, uh, seeing yourself on TV and watching people talking and listening or playing or wanting to hear your music. It was just the greatest reward ever.
What if you were to rank from 1 to 4, and I know it's beyond impossible, where would you rank in your 4 in order between Rub You the Right Way, Fair Weather Friend, um, Wrap My Body Tight, and My?
Wow. Ooh. I would probably have to say My became my signature song. If you're fortunate enough in this business to have a song that when you mention the name of an artist, immediately the song comes up, there that whatever their hit is comes up. That's what we consider and call it's the definition of calling that's your signature song. That's how people identify you. My would probably will and will probably always be my signature song. So I would probably have to rank that at number one. My biggest record in my career, believe it or not, was not My. It was Rub You the Right Way. Um, so, uh, and then I would have to go My, Rub You. Wow. You said Fair Weather Friend.
Yeah.
And what else?
Wrap My Body Tight.
And Wrap My Body Tight would be, yeah. That's how I would go. My, Rub You, Fair Weather Friend, Wrap My Body Tight.
Were you in the studio at the same time with CL Smooth on the remix? I love the remix collab on Rub You the Right Way.
No, I wasn't actually, but we talked, and he said he was gonna lace it, and that he did.
Yeah, he definitely
That
did.
he did, yeah, he did.
Oh my goodness. We have a couple more questions because we definitely want to be mindful of your busy schedule. Where did you inherit your monster work ethic from? Because not just being the R&B GOAT, but you have a reputation of not allowing anyone else to outcompete you in studio sessions. So who did you inherit your monster work ethic from?
I just think it's something that was just inherited. I think when you, I'm competitive, and that's just by nature. And there's a fine line between being competitive, being want to use, what's the word? Not cocky, arrogant, but just having just this drive to want to be the best, to do what you do and be at the top of your game with, in order to stay in the game. And that's what it takes. And so for me, whether it's in the studio, whether it's out on the road working, whether it's concert stuff, people will tell you I don't, it's a deal breaker for me to go on concert. And if I'm on a show with 4 or 5 different acts, and we're not allowed to, and I'm not headlining, but it's mandatory. There's a sound check that is mandatory. No sound check, no show. I have all those things because I realize people pay in money. It's very important to be consistent with what people come and pay and want to see. And when they know or hear your name, to know, I know what to expect. He's gonna give you this great show. All those things that comes behind the scenes that people don't even realize that makes for a great show. I'm a stickler for making sure those things are done so that there's a consistency when you see me and there's a mic in my hand, or when you see me and I'm performing and doing a show. But I love being pushed, or someone pushing me, or me pushing, that we got to go, okay, who's going to get there? Who's going to race? We're off to the races. Who's going to get there first? It's so I'm not obsessed where it's like my life is consumed with going, I need to do and be the top dog in the room. I need to have and be the best at everything. I'm more obsessed with pushing myself to see how far I can go and being inspired by others that will challenge you to go, come on. And I love it. And that's what gives me and keeps me excited and driven.
Cheyenne has been waiting patiently. Cheyenne, are you ready with your question?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hi, Cheyenne.
Johnny, OG.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good, hanging in there.
That's good. First, let me start off. My mama will kill me. She said, "Oh my goodness, I'm so jealous." She gets to she was, of course, she's around your era, and she loves your music. And after New Edition, so she just wanted me to tell myself.
Wow, please give her my best.
I will. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
My question was, I wrote down my question. I said, being so young with such a distinctive and powerful voice, how was it navigating through high school? Like, were you known around the halls for like your voice, or was your high school probably used to your popularity already?
Okay, are you ready for this? Because I know you're gonna start laughing at me. But do you know, I used to wear suits to school in elementary and in junior high school.
Okay.
Nobody knew that I was a singer because, I mean, we sing gospel, but I wasn't very well known in the school as being no singer or none of that stuff. I had no idea why, but I think I was just really heavily influenced by my dad, who was a minister, and I used to watch him. He used to have the matching belt, shoes, and all that stuff to his outfits every day that he was, he went to the church and he does counseling and did all that stuff and running the church. And I found myself everyone used to go, why come you wear suits to school? And I was like, I had no idea why. It wasn't because I didn't realize maybe, but later on I realized I was dressing for success. I had no idea about it, but I just felt more comfortable in suits. Mm-hmm. And so everyone knew me in school by, oh, the guy that wears the suits. But,
oh my gosh, really?
Hey, who knew?
Wow. Wow. And you have such an amazing voice. Oh my goodness, and it's still powerful. I heard the little note you hit while you were on here. I don't know if you noticed it, but I heard the little note. You have such a beautiful voice, and I just want to say, you are an icon. Like you are.
Thank
great.
you. Thank you so much. I don't take nothing for granted. I understand and realize that in our business and what we do, none of us going to do what we do forever. And I take every moment, every time I put a mic in my hand and I open my mouth, I sing like there is no tomorrow, simply because I'm grateful. I don't do drugs. I've never abused my body, simply because I understand that this is a gift, an instrument that God has given me, that I'm going, hey, if you take care of it, it'll take care of you. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. I know you have so many other questions. Thank you so much for taking the time.
You're so welcome. And please give mommy my love.
I will. Thank you.
Awesome.
Way to go, Cheyenne. Thank you so much for your patience. Definitely. I'm gonna go to Miss Rags. We have a couple more questions before we close out. Miss Rags, are you available?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry, we're in a staff meeting, but I just made a comment to say that you are my all-time favorite artist. About 2 years ago, my coworker, who's on here also, Miss Taylor, we were at the Black Women's Expo, and you called me on stage with you, as you say, rub me the right way, and you put the microphone in my face, and Miss Taylor videotaped the whole thing. So I'm like super excited right now. I'm supposed to be in my staff meeting, but I'm like, I gotta see Johnny Gill. Oh my God! So I just want to say I love you, I love you, I love you, and good luck to you. And I'm in that era because I'm almost 60. So
thank you, and I love you. These are the kind of stories that I love hearing, because it's about every time that I go out, I want to make sure that I leave the audience with something to remember me by. And that's, I know those coming on the stage is priceless, to be able to just have fun and enjoy and party with everyone. And I'm glad that you enjoyed it and that you could take that memory.
Yes, I've enjoyed every single one of your concerts. I've been to multiple ones. I've enjoyed every one of them.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. I got to go to the staff meeting. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a good one.
And then, man, the Black Women's Expo, it's always jam-packed. So that's why Chicago.
Oh, I love playing the expo.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to close out with the last question before we do a joint closing out. Is it true that if you was not the legendary singer that you are today, that back in high school you wanted to be an electrical engineer?
Yeah, that was my MO, and I always that and boxing, and I had good hands. Still got great hands, but I had speed, and speed killed. I'll never forget. Everyone used to be afraid to want to box, so we used to box around the neighborhood, and nobody wanted to touch up gloves with me. And I'll never forget. I got so cocky and arrogant, thinking, "Oh yeah." And one of my this guy that was boxing, we were boxing at this building in the laundry room where we would hold the bouts and stuff. And I'm thinking, I got speed and hands, and you can't touch me, man. This kid hit me one time, caught me clean on the jaw, and I'll never forget saying, "This don't feel good." And I decided to just pick up the mic.
You're a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, I realized this is not cool. But as long as I was dishing it out, it was cool. But when I was being cocky when I dropped my hands to let him hit me, and I was like, "Yo, this don't feel good."
Oh man, oh my goodness. We're gonna sneak in one more. Miss Hart, are you ready with your question? Let's see, is Miss Hart there? Miss Hart?
I'm sorry. Hold on. My friend Robin wants to ask you a question. Hold on.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Do you do vocal lessons for children?
No, I don't. But I used to go to this guy named Seth Riggs. I'm not even sure if he's still around, but I haven't. But it's definitely something that I know. Several people that actually do for different artists. But I went to Seth Riggs many years ago, and it was pretty awesome. He was very well known. I mean, he worked with myself, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, the list goes on. And he was amazing. And I'm not sure, I don't think he still does it anymore because he's in his 90s, I believe now. But yeah, his name was Seth Riggs. And he has tapes out now that you don't even necessarily, that you can get online, that he taught us, the things that he taught us technique-wise that we use to warm up vocally.
Okay.
And his name is Seth Riggs.
Okay.
I'll write it down and do my due diligence. And if I get any headway, I will definitely share that information with Ms. Hart and you, Rob.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So what we do at the end of each of our celebrity sessions is we have everybody unmute our our Zoom our Zoom gadget, and we all chant out T-Birds. T-Birds, Thunderbirds is our school mascot. So I'll close out saying, and as always, go T-Birds, and then if you can chant out go T-Birds at the end, that would be outstanding.
Go T-Birds.
Yes. So without further ado, thank you so much. Once again, we're definitely humbled by your presence. Mr. Gill, you're so beloved here in Chicago. We can't wait till we turn the corner on the COVID-19 pandemic and we start having in-person concerts once again, so you can grace the Windy City with your presence. So we can't wait until we're able to turn the corner. And this was like an early Christmas gift for all of the students on the call. Thank you so much for successfully brightening everybody's day with your presence. And on behalf of Assistant Principal Maria Brown, Principal Don Holmes, and the entire hardworking staff, administration, student body at Thornwood High School, we would like to say, go T-Birds.
Yes. Go T-Birds.
Go T-Birds.
I love it.
Birds.
Thank you so much once again, Mr. Gill. You have a hard-working team on your side that works 24/7 round the clock for you. See Miss Taylor showing you love right there. Miss Taylor in the house, we see you.
How are you?
So you have such a hard-working team, and I'm going to get on the phone with them immediately after the call to get your proper mailing address, because we have some school swag to send you, as well as
that's awesome.
Honorary Teacher for the Day award plaque.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I know, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic, you obviously haven't been to Chicago in a year with everything closed down, but without you even knowing just the huge global impact that you've made to our future leaders of tomorrow here within the performing arts and music community here in the city of Chicago and beyond, without you even knowing, just your presence alone, you have been like a surrogate teacher to all of us without you even knowing.
Wow. And that's amazing. And I thank you so much, because when I go all and travel all over the country, I mean, I've been to Moscow, to France, to all these places, and they don't even speak our language, but yet at the end of the day, when you hear them singing these songs and word for word, note for note, it really reminds you of the impact that you don't even realize sometimes that you're making on the world by just doing what God put me here to do. And I'm grateful and appreciative. And it just a reminder when I hear these kind of things, that the confirmation to continue to keep on doing what we're doing, to continue to just try to impact other people's lives in a positive way. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. Don't be a stranger. Please don't be a stranger to us. We love you so much, and we definitely want to stay connected.
Absolutely. And I'm one of y'all now. I'm a teacher. Don't you worry about it. We all in this together.
You got that teacher voice, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. What a blessing. What a blessing. And thanks for having me, man. Once again, I'm truly honored. And thank you so much for having me.
The legendary R&B GOAT, Johnny Gill, y'all. Thank you so much. And we'll talk soon. Happy holidays
Absolutely.
to you and your entire family.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And you guys stay safe and until we see each other. All right.
All right. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.